What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Adrian's Awesome Accumulation. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Loscont's Misty Rain action figure. So there's the figure right there. But before we get into too much detail with her, let's take a look at the box. All right, so here we have the box, and it's just kind of like this dark blue with some like yellow, right? And then some kind of like orange stars right here. So let's see. Right here it says Arm Battle Angels, so that's pretty cool. So we got ABA03. Maybe that's the number of the figure that day. I think this is the third one. Might be, I'm not sure. It could be the third. It's a 112 scale right there. Right here we have her name, Misty Rain, and her name probably in Chinese or Japanese or whatever. 69. Who knows what that's there for? And you got RUU, and then okay, so on this side we got a product shot right there of the action figure and a cool pose with some accessories, as you can see. We've got the Loscont name right there. On the back we have three more poses we can get her in right there. Some different action shots right there. And then Misty Rain and then all that stuff. And then on this side we have a different product shot. So that's cool. And on the bottom, another product shot, which is pretty awesome. And then on the top, another one. So that's pretty cool. I like how, like each product shot is kind of different, is a different pose than the other ones. That's pretty neat. So there's the box art, or the box art. There's the box. Let's get that out of the way. Let's take a look at the Misty Rain action figure here. All right, so really cool, like colors right off the bat. I really like her hair. She's like this cool, like light, like icy blue kind of hair, and got this like yellow, like strand of hair right there. Her eyes came out really nice. You can see it has like that kind of like starry look for like the pupils and whatever. So that's pretty good. Yeah, so and then her like overall color scheme of this action figure is really nice. You got like these soft goods right here, like vest and skirt, and then again with the blue, like light blue with the yellow and stuff, and then the dark right there. So that's pretty neat. And then yeah, so just overall the color scheme is really great. And the soft goods can come off. You could take them off, but I don't want to because I always have a hard time putting them on. And besides, it has like this buckle, and the last time I had like a problem with these buckles, it took me forever to put it back on. So I'm just not even gonna bother taking it off. But like under here, she is wearing a bodysuit, as you can see from her arms right there, and her leggings right here. So it's not like a bodysuit that covers the whole body. It's more like like this sexy kind of bodysuit that you can see the breasts right there, and then you can see it down here. So you can get a kind of idea how the bodysuit will look like if you take off the clothes. But yeah, so there's the look of the action figure. Let's get into articulation here. So her arms do, actually let's go sideways right here. So her arms do come up to a T pose. I bet you they can go even higher if the soft goods wasn't restricting it, but they do go up that high. And they would be able to go all the way around, again, if the soft goods weren't restricting it. And then she does have double bend at the elbow right there. And that's for both arms, of course. And do got ball joint wrists, so that's good. The head, let's see, let's move the hairpiece like that. She can look up that high. All right, and she's going to be able to look down that low. She can tilt her head and then move it all the way around. And then it's just her head that moves. The neck does not move. All right. And then, of course, the ponytail, moves as well. So that is connected by a ball joint, and then you can move that any which way you want, like so. And then, let's see, let's get her arms up again. So she's going to be able to bend back that far from the chest, bend that far forward, so really good range right there. And she's going to be able to tilt side to side, and she can rotate about that far. So that far, not all the way, but she has good rotation right there. All right, so good movement at the the body right there. And then for the legs, she is, let me see, can she do the splits? that's how far she's gonna be able to do the splits right there. And I think it's gonna be hindered because of the soft goods clothes skirt. But she can get her leg kicking up that high forward and that far back. And then she does have, you know, double bend at the knee right there, so that's good. And then her knees do come up kind of like a curve right there, so that's pretty neat. And then at the shoes, you know, she can bend back that far forward. And then she does have an ankle rocker right there, so that's good. And she can rotate right here at the thigh. This lie kind of feels kind of loose right here. And this one, they do feel kind of, it's not like, it's like loose, but it's not like super loose to the point where it's going to be moving a lot. But yeah, so like if they tighten this up just a little bit, I think that would be great. But you know, for the arms, her arms feel, you know, great. They don't feel wobbly or anything. I did see some, you know, other people's reviews where they said like the arm is kind of like wiggly and stuff like that. Right here, kind of like that, but like that's because I'm messing with it. But like other than that, if I move it, it's gonna stay there. If it's gonna, I'm gonna leave it there. It's gonna stay, and we're gonna leave it down here. It's gonna stay, right? So yeah, so I don't really have a problem with her arms. I think they feel fine, you know. But they could, you know, I guess like tighten it up a little bit more. But other than that, I think she feels, you know, she feels great to move. The articulation is great, and yeah. All right, so there's the articulation, and stick with me, and I'll show you her accessories. All right, you guys, here are the accessories. Let's start off with the hands. All right, so here are the hands that she comes with, and she does come with this cool little, like, you know, rack to like put her hands on. I like when they give you this stuff. It's pretty cool. So all right, so she got two pointing hands right there. She got two fist hands right here, as you can see, and then she has like these little like you know, like blackish, kind of like gunmetalish, you know, like things kind of like her bodysuit color, kind of like this kind of like bronzish dark color. But anyways, she got those things on her hands right there, and then she comes with two, you know, grabbing the trigger, pulling the trigger hands right there, so that's good. And then of course we got the hands that she has on right here, which are like widespread hands right there. And all right, so we got this eye tool, of course, for the face plates, and she comes with this one, so it's kind of like angry looking face right there. And again, I like the eyes came out really cool. I like that little star design. But yeah, so there we have her angry faceplate right there, which looks nice. And then we have, you know, this kind of like happy kind of smirk, you know, looking one right there, so that's pretty good. And then we have this one that I have on her, which is, you know, this kind of like, ooh, look at what's going on here, right? So yeah, kind of like this winking face with like her like mouth like, you know, kind of like circular and stuff like that. So there's that. And then of course the tools for the eye, so like you can move it, and you know, the eyes articulate really well. They're kind of like, you know, they kind of stay in place wherever you move it. That's where the eye is gonna stay. So because I recently got some action figures where they have moving eyes as well, to articulate eyes, but they're kind of loose and they kind of like go all over the place. But these ones are kind of tight, so the eyes articulate really well on this. So there's that. All right, so here we have this hat that she comes with. It's kind of like beret, which kind of reminds me of Jill Valentine. And basically, to put this on, you're going to want to take off the ponytail right here. If I can take it out. There we go. So yeah, there's the ponytail. You just take that off, and then you just put the hat on her, and it's kind of like sticks on by magnet. And then you have her with a beret there, right, where she's like looking like Jill Valentine. At least for me, she is. All right, so and then the ponytail, of course. So I guess you could take that off. So that's kind of like an accessory as well. So there's that. And then we have her gun, which it looks really cool. I really like the way this gun came out. You know, it looks really futuristic. You like that, like little orange right there, the kind of like revolver thingy right there. And then, you know, the trigger with this part right there. It looks really futuristic. So that's pretty neat. And then you got like some kind of like design right there. That's pretty awesome. I guess the design of their Battle Angel type of things, right? So that's cool. And then you got like this shooting effect piece, which is super cool. So this just plugs in right there. and then you have her like, you know, shooting like this cool laser beam. Because she could turn it like that or change it sideways and stuff. So that's pretty neat. And what I like about this kind of thing, it kind of looks like her eyes, right? Let me see if I can. Yeah, so like it kind of looks like her eyes if you like switch it like this. You guys can see right there. Yeah, so it's kind of like the design of her eyes. So that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. So yeah, there's that laser effect piece with the gun. So that's pretty awesome. I love that. And then we got two, you know, pairs of feet right here. So like kind of like bodysuit, like, you know, feet right there. But like this little like piece right here that covers just, you know, like the I guess the middle section of her feet, and then her toes are kind of like out in the open or like exposed, and then her heels exposed right there. So yeah, so you got two pair of feet if you don't want the shoes. I like the way the shoes look, but if you want, you could switch that out for these pairs of feet. And let's see, before I forget, she does come with two knives right here, and they look exactly the same. So yeah, you got these two little knives that she comes with, and the cool thing about this is you can like put them in here. If I can get it in again, probably not gonna be able to, but yeah, anyways, you saw me take it out from there, so it goes in there. So that's pretty cool. All right, so there's that. And then she comes with two, you know, like a hook to like grab her, and then a stand right here, as you guys saw right there. So there's the stand, says ABA 03, so that's cool. And then the stand looks really nice, right? It has like this cool like mechanical look, or like, you know, like street look. So that's pretty neat. And then it does open up, and then you can put all these accessories in there, which is really nice. You know, so like if you want to use the stand, put her up on the shelf, and then just have all her accessories in the stand right there, so you always know where they're at. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so you guys, that is her accessories, and then I'll be back and I'll show you a few poses. Pose 1, combat training. Pose 2, knife training. Pose 3, pretend shot. Pose 4, get back here. Pose 5, taking the shot. All right, you guys, there we have Loscont's Armored Battle Angel number 3 Misty Rain done and complete. Really cool action figure. I really liked it. I like the nice posing option that it has, you know, very well articulated, you know. She has some like loose parts, but I wouldn't say it's like so loose to the point where it's like flimsy. You know, she can hold her poses, you know, if they just tighten her up in some like kind of like spots like around her arms and then like her legs, where her legs rotate, her thighs rotate. If they tighten it up right there, I think, you know, their future releases can be good. So I do recommend this. If you guys like this video, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. God bless and bye.